right, good morning. It's a little chilly out. I'm doing a little chilly Q&A in an undisclosed location. Where is Wayne today? If you know, comment below. What country, what state, what city? No insider trading. If you know and you're close in this circle, wrong answers only. So first one up is from Vivian. Have you ever tattooed your family members? I've tattooed... The first ever tattoo I did was on my father. It was on his thigh, and it was a little smiley face. And I'll put the picture right here. And I have a matching one I did the same night right here. And yeah, the story was like, I kind of bought a kit, and I had no intentions on being a tattooer. I just wanted to make a tattoo. I got tattooed, got obsessed with tattoo, and I was like, I need to make tattoo. So I took some money I was supposed to use to buy some clothes, and I bought a little kit, and I was gonna fuck with it, and I had Max and Oscar ready to rock and line out the door. I mean, basically everyone wanted some of this, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing in it, and I didn't even know how to I did not know, but it was just kind of like a punk rock party tat thing, and my dad was like, fuck that, I'm gonna be the first one. And so he got the very first tattoo. I tattooed, then I tattooed myself all night, basically. And then after that, it was just kind of like, hey, if you can get, buy me a bottle of ink, I'll tattoo you. Hey, give me $20, I'll tattoo you. Hey, bring me what you want, print it out, the line drawing, and I'll tattoo you. And so I kind of got into tattooing. This kind of spins off into how I kind of got into tattooing, actually. But in short, I ended up becoming a piercing apprentice. I want to be a body piercer. And I was still around tattooing. I was still fucking around scratching with tattooing. And then I ended up working like a job at a warehouse, and then fast forward some more. The shop that I later went to go work at as a piercer, I ended up landing a tattoo apprenticeship. And then fast forward some more. Years later, I got too busy tattooing to pierce anymore, and I had to kind of make a choice, and I chose tattooing. So tattooing just kind of happened. I was like kind of drawn to it, called to it, had to do it, and I figured out my way through it, the wrong way, the right way, and now I'm here today. And back to the family thing, I've tattooed my Aunt Amy, I've tattooed my cousins, and I did a little tattoo of my sister as well. So I have tattooed my family. I wouldn't say regularly by any means, but I have tattooed some family. Good question. That spun off nice. Thank you, Vivian. All right. Let's see. Some of these, because I run on, I can make them into a whole fucking video. So, Alan Katz 7819, you're so fast. How did you learn to tattoo so incredibly, yet so fast? I don't think you learn how to tattoo quick. You just kind of get efficient and good at what you do, you know? In tattooing, it's a lot of repetition. You're kind of doing the same thing every day. Even though it's a different tattoo and different design per se, you're still laying down your stencil the same way. You're still lining it first. You're still laying down your black, and then you're kind of, doing the colors that follow afterwards. There's a way to do it. It is a trade before it is like a interpretive art form, I guess you could say. So, especially in American traditional, and me kind of like revisiting a lot of same imagery, like every week someone's gonna elbow web by me or a crying heart. There's certain like things I do a lot, and I've gotten to do them very well and very confidently. And I think, in short, there's two components that make you a fast tattooer, and the first would be experience, and the second would be confidence. And confidence can only come from experience; otherwise, it'd be considered ignorance. So I'm quick because I'm in my comfort zone, and I'm just moving through it. Yeah. And it didn't happen. I was very slow for a very long time because I didn't have the confidence, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, right? So, all right. Let's see what else we got in here. Those were a couple from Instagram. We're going to shoot over to, or those are from YouTube. We're going to go to a couple from Instagram. Let me see how to access them. It's letting me see them, but not click on them. Oh, there we are. Okay, see y'all. All right, we have quite a bit. So I'm going to use half of these for another video, so stay tuned. I'm uploading every single day. I'm uploading another Q&A because I'm out of town right now, and I would just use some archival tattoo footage, put together something cool for you, but I want to make something new. I'm in a bit of a pinch, and I like the engagement from this. I like the comments, I like the dialogue, I like the back and forth anyhow, and they're kind of quick for me to make right now. So until I'm back home, I don't know what I'm gonna make tomorrow, but it might be something like this again. So if you want that, again, comment below. I read this shit, so don't be afraid to write it, right? All right. I'm just skipping through. All right. I'm gonna answer this one more question. This is from Grinch_tats. This is a long answer. This is another run on one. This is another story, so this can make for a whole video easily because I'm a fucking talker, right? So, Grinch asks, how was the punk scene for you growing up, and how, there's water on my screen from the rain, and how'd that connect to tattooing? So punk rock and tattooing have always been intertwined, right? Like, I would say kind of like the three things would be like punk rock, skateboarding, tattooing, and I think they're all kind of the same. I think punk rock is kind of about self-expression and authenticity. And I think there's nothing more authentic and real than skateboarding or punk rock. Punk rock to me is like it's protest music, civil disobedience. It's your feeling. It's real. And punk rock doesn't just have to be, you know, this what you think of as punk rock. You know, there's a lot of punk rock I consider to be punk rock that doesn't sound like punk rock. I think punk rock is it's in here. More than you can hear it, more than you can see it, I think you could feel it. Punk rock, when I was growing up, was very tribal. And, you know, you weren't, I think if you don't fit in, and you find punk rock, it's a place you could fit in, and I think that you protect it and you don't want to let other people in. And I think it's an outsider thing, and so you're careful to let people in it, because you think that if they're not authentic, they will diminish it, and it will take away from your authenticity and how you feel about punk rock being in it. And I particularly like, I don't feel this way so much anymore, but in my adolescence for sure, if there was a kid who was like a poser per se, yeah, I felt like it hurt my like credibility. You know, if they spiked their hair wrong or sewed their patches on wrong. And someone else is like, oh, that's your homie, huh? I'm like, no, that guy's not my friend. I don't listen to that band. I spike my hair this way. Fucking no, that's not, we are not the same thing. And I think that mattered because since I wasn't comfortable with who I was and I didn't know who I was, I feel like I found a piece of who I am in punk, and I didn't want to, I don't know. I think there is something about maybe insecurity and teenage adolescence in there where it was like, no, this is my thing. I have a thing. This is fucking mine. Stay away. Does that make sense? And I think that, you know, if you say you listen to little things, like if you were into like crust punk, anarcho punk, and maybe you ate meat, but you had like a conflict and disrupt thing painted on the back of your leather jacket. I don't know if people would give you shit, but people will definitely like talk shit, like, Pi doesn't listen to lyrics, you know? Or let's say you had like all right, I like Neil Young. I love Neil Young, right? That's fine. But in high school, I wouldn't have like, say, I wouldn't be like, say I was into Power Violence and I had like an ulcer patch and spaz and infest. And that was on my vest with like DS13 on the back. I wouldn't wear a Neil Young t-shirt. I just wouldn't, you know? And to me, that's so insecure. And to me, like, wearing a Neil Young shirt is fucking punk rock, you know? But again, I don't know if that's a difference between when I was a kid or just how I felt as a kid. I can only speak on my behalf, but the punk scene that I grew up within, even though everyone listened to everything, you definitely, your fit was definitely your armor, and it definitely had to portray, it could be a costume per se. You know, I think that, again, you might just be like, no, I'm psychobilly. No, I'm skinhead. No, I'm into oi. Like, no, I'm a street punk. But only East Coast street punk. No, I'm a skate punk. I listen to JFA and I fucking skate all day. Like, everyone had their thing. And they had it to a T. And you felt like you had to transition slowly. So maybe next year from rockabilly, you're a little into psychobilly. And psychobilly, then junior year, you're into street punk. And then senior year, you're getting early hardcore. And then you're 18 and now you're into hardcore. I don't know. It's just funny. Like, but all paths lead to punk. All genres come from it. And I think that, to me, it's all kind of the same. It's all kind of silly, this game, that I think about it in retrospect. But, yeah, I don't know. I feel like a big turning point for me in punk rock was like when I got my first tattoo, and this brings it full circle too, right? I wanted, like, when I would sew a patch on my pants, per se. Yeah, you have those pants. Yeah, you might like DI. But, like, I painted this patch. I sewed this patch. These pants are now mine, and you don't have them. We are not the same, and now I am unique per se. I got to express myself. The first time expressing myself was through punk rock and skateboarding, right? And then eventually would be tattooing and body modification. And I didn't want to be treated different, but I had to make a visible distinction that we are not the same, you know? And I don't know, I think it could sound very silly, but this is very honest, like me kind of trying to articulate this with you. I don't know. But in tattooing, when I got my first tattoo, I got like a big straight edge tattoo on my lower stomach. And I'm still straight edge. Then I got a showcase tattoo on my forearm. And that was the venue I grew up going to. That was my very first punk show, was the Showcase Theater. And then I got like oi behind my ear, and then I got some like minor threat out of Step Sheep. That's when I started tattooing. I started doing like this subhuman skull on my ankle. I did it out of Step Sheep. Stephen House did like an Exploited Punk's Not Dead on me. And then he also did a, what else did he do? I think he did the DI Ancient Artifacts album cover on my ankle as well. So it was kind of like, these are bands that I loved that kind of like, I feel like had a piece in who I'd become. And these are, maybe I would buy their shirts or patches, but I felt like, you know what, I'm gonna get it fucking tattooed on me. I don't need to buy the merch. I mean, I still have the merch, it's still cool, but I don't need to like show you that I'm down. I'm gonna wear this on me, for me. And when I started getting tattoos, I was kind of like, around that time, I didn't like the attention of I guess, looking like outwardly punk rock, right? I didn't want to talk to people about what I was wearing. I didn't want, it was kind of for me. I liked it for me, but I didn't like the attention it garnered, you know? So I started getting these bands tattooed on me. Like, I thought that was more punk rock than buying the merch. Like, you know what? If you know, you know. And I kind of still like that, you know, like I have a, you know, I think this is punk rock, but I have a Metallica's like Kill 'Em All hatchet on the side of my hand. Kind of hard to see, kind of faded. There's like, yeah, but that's Metallica's first album, very punk rock thrash album. And you know, Metallica was one of my first favorite bands, and I think that if you listen to the album, is unarguably a gateway to punk rock. And you know, regardless of how you feel about Metallica's success and how good of musicians they'd become and how overproduced and big and whatever, they're punk rock, right? They're doing what they want to do, the way that they want to do it, on their terms, and they always have. And it's consistent, and even though I don't listen to like the last fucking who knows how many albums, I respect it. So, but the cool thing about that is it's kind of a deep cut. It's not going to be a Metallica's tattoo. It says Metallica or Kill 'Em All. If you know, you know. If you don't, good. And I always kind of like that. And again, I think that maybe that's, I don't know, in punk rock, if someone does know, you can kind of find your people. You can kind of clock them from across the room. It could be something simple. It could be, you could both be in your 30s and, you know, maybe he's wearing Sambas and he has a Fred Perry, and his pants are cuffed a little tight around the ankle. I'm like, I know what's up. And it's like, you might just think it's like coming back around in fashion again, but I know like I can go up and bullshit with that person and on a level that you wouldn't expect. So I do like that tribalism in punk rock. But I think now, to come around to your answer, I think now everyone listens to everything. I think everyone always has, but I think right now specifically, people are not as insecure with that. People want to like things ironically, but they're just, I don't know. I think that punk rock can be many, 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 many things, and it's not just a sound, and it's not just a look. And I think right now everybody does listen to everything, and I think you see that reflected in punk rock as well, with newer bands that are bending and blending genres, right? I've talked about this before, but like someone like say Homefront blending like new wave and oi, and I mean that would really just be what Blitz did with Second Empire Justice, but they're doing it now, you know. And there's so many bands right now, like our post-hardcore bands like High Vis, like there's so many bands right now that are making the music that they want to make for the music that inspired them to make it. And I feel like back in the day, if you were to look at this, and this is proven right now instantly. If we look at High Vis back in the day, Graham's old band, Dirty Money, it's like Trapped Under Ice. It's like hardcore, right? Look at High Vis today, visible difference, and obviously that is just an extension, expression from experience, and they've gotten here today. But it is a very clear indicator of how far punk rock has become, how it's come, and how you can listen to everything. Playing big festivals with hip-hop bands, like, it's different. It's a different thing. Look at Animal and the Sniffers, like, you know, playing festivals, like punk rock band from Australia. Look at Turnstile, Taco Bell commercials. What the fuck is going on? You know, it's just, and then, like, I don't know. It's a different thing now. But that doesn't mean that it's not still what it was, and it's still not, I don't know. I think that punk rock is whatever you want it to be. And each scene is different, and I think it's in here, and it's in here, and it's regional where you live too. So it's hard for me to define what punk rock is, but what it was to me is it was a sense of belonging, and it was a sense of community, and I felt like I fit in a world where I previously didn't. Does that make sense? Yeah, I listened to the radio before, and I liked, you know, Linkin Park or whatever. It was cool. But even now, if I have a client that goes to see, I don't know, System of a Down or some shit, it's like, yeah, it was sick, and they show me a video, and they're fucking a mile away looking at a screen, that is not the same thing, right? Whereas when I went and saw DI for the first time, I'm on stage jumping off. Like, I could go up and talk to Casey Royer right now. I could probably DM him and he'll write me back. Like, punk rock is something special where everyone is together, you know? It's not a performance and you're the other. Punk rock is together. And I think that people just don't get that because they're on the outside and they're not even capable of looking in. But now with punk rock where it's come, I think that the outside is in, the in is out. Punk rock is big. And I think that maybe you need bands like, say, a High Vis or a Turnstile or a Knock Loose to get someone into punk rock. Like, that's what they need to find the stuff, you know? It'd be no difference than, like, say, when Lord's Dogtown came out and Rise Against covered Black Flag. Well, now you know who Black Flag is, right? It's happening with me, like getting into Rikes and them covering Camera Silence, and then me getting into Comintern Sect, and then me getting into, you know, Warrior Kids, and then a whole fucking genre of Oi from France. And I wouldn't have found it if they didn't cover that song. So cover songs are important. Bands bending and crossing genres is important. And I think we're in this new age of punk. And I think that this new age of punk is not just a defined specific D beat or, you know, it's all of it, right? So yeah, there I go, there I did it. I just turned 2 questions into a 20-minute video. So hopefully you didn't have to watch the whole thing. Hopefully you got to listen to it while you drove somewhere. Pop a question below. I'm out of town for the next couple of days, as I said before, so maybe I'll make more of these talking videos and bang them out. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.